No sword in my hands, just a will that won't break. I've seen modest terror tremble, felt every quake. Sam carried Frodo when he couldn't go on. Now I carry that heart even when hope is gone. Then came Gandalf's staff, lit the sky. Even the darkest times still let light fly. From Isengard fall to Helm's Deep's last stand. I rise with the brave, not just sword in hand. Don't fight for crowns, I don't kneel to fate. I stand like Eo and I won't hesitate. Aragorn's cry, Theoden's charge in the fray. I'm the flame in the dusk of the break of day. I don't fight for crowns, I don't kneel to fate. I stand like Eo and I won't hesitate. Aragorn's cry, Theoden's charge in the fray. I'm the flame in the dusk, the break of day. Fellow of the rings, I give it all. From Moria's dark to Mount Doom's fall. Fellow, beyond the pain, we fight till it's over, we rise again. From ashes we rise, we answer the call. We stand for the light, we are one for all. Born with the fire like smog in the air, but I learned from Boromir, beware despair. Power corrupts, the ring's heavy price. Gollum fell chasing it twice. I saw Denethor fall, blinded by fear, while Faramir stood, silent but clear. Galadriel's grace, but a fire inside. She passed on the test, while others just lied. I'm not just a fighter, I'm light through the shade. Like Legolas swift, and Gimli unafraid. From Rivendell's peace to the Black Gate's cry, I rise like the eagles, I will not die. Fellow, we give it all. From the Shire to Shadow, we heed the call. Fellow, beyond the flame, with hearts unbroken, we rise again. Through trolls and breaks, we rise through the fall. We stand for the weak, we are one for all. Fellow, through fire and stone, from ends that march to thrones overthrown. Fellow, no fear remains, even Sauron's shadow breaks at our name. We carry the ring, we answer the call. We stand as the light, we are one for all. I am here with the fellow of the rings.
What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to this beautiful Tuesday. How was everybody doing? Yes, Turgon, I cheat. I was the first one in the chat today. How y'all doing? What's up, 87? We got Turgon, Cleona, Kylo KX. What's up, my boy Nick Rush? How you doing? And living the dream, brother. That's good, man. That's really good to hear. What's up, Grassgot? What's up, Grimwold? How are you guys doing this beautiful day? I'm gonna join Jax in just a little bit in the voice chat. Let me just make sure the screen is properly cropped for you guys. Here we go. Warm day today here in the beautiful UK. How's the weather for you guys over there? And he doesn't answer yet. Sorry, Clay. And I took a couple days. You guys noticed I took a couple days off. And so, yeah. You know, I'm moving houses. So that's been taking a lot of my time after work and stuff. And so that is why I've been off for a couple days. You know, hopefully when we're in the new house, everything's gonna be beautiful and dandy again. Give me a second here. here we go. Sounds good. So I was answering a DM. What's up, Nicola? What's up? I appreciate the subscription, Nicola. Guys, let me know if the audio is fine with your ads. I think it's set up as I think the last live stream, the audio and everything was pretty good. So let me know if there's any issues there. Let's see what else. What's up, Demon Goddess? Good to see you. Why is game not on Google Play Store anymore? What? Lord of the Rings Rise Tour is not on the Play Store. There's no way. Guys, I need some. What's up, Simon? I need somebody right now to go to Google. If you have an that's kind of else funny. If you guys have an iOS device, go on Google, on Google Play. Oh, what a loser. Give me a second here. Lord of the Rings, Rise to War, Google Play Store. See if you can find it here. There's no way it's not there anymore. That'd be crazy. No, it's still here. Right here. Google Play Store. Nicola, where? Okay, so which country are you in? Yeah, it's probably a country situation, not a game situation. I'm still seeing ads every single day, guys. Not the right. Oh, bro, you have no idea, Eduardo, how happy I am for Portugal winning that match. I am so happy for Cristiano, man. He deserves it. The dude works so hard. Happy for him. Let me just see here. I'm gonna check your. Yes, yeah, Eduardo, I appreciate it. Let me join Jax here in the voice chat really quick. What's up, Jax? Can you hear me? Where you at, Jax? Wait, no route. Oh, here we go. I'm on now. What's up, Jax? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, how you doing, man? I mean, crazy stuff in Cali, isn't it?
Yeah, I drove down there, checked it out.
It's rough, man. Jeez.
I'm surprised people aren't like rioting and stuff, going crazy. That's normally what happens. The people come out of ghettos and start rioting, breaking into stores, stealing shit, blah blah blah.
It's rough, man. Oh, I follow up. I like politics, so I follow up on things. Here in the UK, in the US. Got family in the US, so.
Oh really?
Yeah. All my parents, my brothers all live in Utah.
No, I mean you follow
Oh,
politics.
100%. Every morning.
Really?
Yeah. I like politics. I mean, it's definitely not. I work. I talk to my coworkers a lot about politics.
What are you? Right, left, middle? What are you?
I mean, if we had to put ourselves in that place, I'm probably more leaning towards, more towards conservatism. If we have to point those two ways, but yeah.
But, well, were you different when you were younger, or you've always been this way?
No, probably my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Cleona, you say you can't hear me. You can't hear me, chat?
No, I think they can now. They can now. It was, I had
turn your volume up.
I had the desktop audio all the way down. Now up. Everything's good, right? You guys can hear Jax still?
I haven't seen anything in the chat, so everything it's fine.
Yeah. I think we're good now.
What's going on in the fire server, Asgul? You got fire and what is it? What's the other one they're with?
It's just Alil, Noad, Fire, and Burn.
Well, that's a good pair of teams right there. The names,
yeah,
Fire and Burn. It's like null and void. They work well together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why are you playing this new account? That must be boring as fuck.
I mean, just kind of cruising, There's not a whole lot to do, so we decided to see just how just how much stuff a free to play can kind. I mean, I'm not playing that much. I'm really just getting the free stuff, doing some tiles here, just to see how much a free to play after a couple of seasons will be like. What an account will look like for a free to play after a couple of seasons.
Well, it won't look great, but it can function, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at this. Just got to borrow a manuscript
Purple.
for Boromir. Yeah. I mean, look at this. I haven't put a dime in this account. I haven't spent anything in gems. I got 6,000 gems so far, and that's like a week into the season.
That's not bad.
No. And already three. I mean, again, if you go back to our live streams, we know we're talking about how you're not really gonna get a whole lot of great, amazing stuff, but did 3 polls already on tier 2 commanders. So for 100% free to play, it ain't the worst.
What server are you on? Like, who's in that server?
Let's have a quick look here.
And there's so many icons at your base. My goodness.
Yeah. They increase the number of icons and things like that. So we have fellowships wise, we have a team called Sexy, which I do think it's quite a few of OG players. Yeah. A lot of OG players, just kind of going on a new season because they're probably bored or something.
Looks like a lot of Russians.
Yeah, there are quite a few Russians playing in this server.
The funniest thing ever about Russians, to me at least, is when they get to arguing in chat, get to squabbling in chat.
The translation.
The translator's trying to keep up, and they're calling each other crazy ass shit, like your mama's a one-eyed raccoon and shit like that. That's my favorite thing in all the games, bro. Is when Russians start arguing in chat. You remember? I don't know if you were in this season, but there was shit. I don't even know how many seasons ago it was. It's all a blur at this point. But you remember? There was. I don't think you were there, but there was these 2 Russian guys, right? And they hated each other, bro. And they argued the entire season in chat. I mean, the end from day one until the day the damn thing closed down. They argued, right? But they would always try to get the last word, and neither one of them would let the other get the last word. Jeez. So whenever one of them would say something, the other one would come back. I don't care what time of day. I don't care, what time of week. They were just arguing, and the 2 things they would say the most the entire season is one would type would with the like little smiley face on the end,
Mm-hmm.
And the other one would type would not with a little smiley face. So they're like indicating I will whoop your ass, and the other one say no you wouldn't, or whatever. And they would just say would not, would not. Like the entire fucking season, bro.
Oh man, that's
all
crazy.
fucking 60 days, bro. It was hilarious. And then calling each other all kinds of crazy names and insulting. It was great, bro. Such a highlight. Such a highlight. I loved it.
That is funny, man.
So what else is going on?
Nothing. There's nothing going on right now. We're waiting for the season to start.
Yeah. Hey, they got I was just on YouTube, and they got Every Which Way But Loose on YouTube for free now.
You got what?
Remember that movie I told you about? That old movie from what was it? I think it's 1978. Clint Eastwood, and he's a plumber.
Yeah.
They got the underground kind of. Back in that day, they used to have street fights, right?
Yep.
Because we didn't have the internet, we didn't have nothing going on. We barely even watched TV. It was on like 3 or 4 channels, and they would have street fight. Like fight clubs, right?
Yep.
They would have those. And then people would go to those and, just impromptu, whatever, underground, whatever you call it, street fights. And then Clint Eastwood's he's a plumber, and he's a fighter. And then he runs into this hustler, this chick, right? She's a hustler. Like she's like a escort or hooker or something like that, but she be trying to hustle dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually the chick in the movie. He actually married her. Sandra Locke is the first movie they were in together, I think. It might have been one more earlier, but he ended up marrying this chick in the movie with him. And she's hot, but Yeah, it's their first movie together, and then he's it's a good movie, but my point is it's free. It's on YouTube. Yeah, it's free. You can watch it for free. Matter of fact, I'll post the link in chat.
Yeah, post the link, man.
Yeah, I'll post the link. There you go. But it's a good old movie. It's cool to see like LA, my city, because it takes place in the valley, like in Burbank, San Fernando Valley and shit. But it's cool to see the city you live in a movie, whatever, 40 years old, right? That's just cool.
Yeah.
You go and you can try and figure out where's this. Like in the very beginning of the movie, the Eddie Rabbit song comes on with the same name as the movie, and he's driving. He's a plumber. He's working at the plumbing shop or whatever. That shop I go to, I still go to that shop. It's now called Hirsch, but it looks the exact same, basically, as you see in the beginning of the movie. Looks the exact same,
so
but he's
crazy.
funny. He goes in the office, and there's a couple secretaries, and he kisses one of them, and she's like, nope. He's trying to get with her, and then as on his way out, he taps on the window to another one, and she still says, nope. Still not giving it up. I love it. A lot of parallels in that movie from my own life, though, so that's why I like it, but it's a good old movie. It holds its weight all these years later. It's still a good movie.
Yep. I mean, being completely honest, the best movies are older movies nowadays.
Yeah, but Clint Eastwood he's still directing. He's like 95 now, right?
Wow.
And he's still directing movies. Who else can you say that's a director at that age? And pretty much his movies are still good and relevant.
Exactly.
Like you look at the last, probably his highlight for directing is probably the 2000s. That's when he had back to back great movies that were in the Oscars and all that, like Unforgiven, $1 Million Baby, Gran Torino. I don't know. There's a bunch of them, but his acting heydays were probably this, 60s, 70s, and 80s. He had good movies. So,
yep.
But it's gonna be should be a national holiday today. He died.
Oh yeah.
And nobody really liked him anymore.
Yep.
Old Clint Eastwood.
It is gonna be rough. I mean, that's true. 90 something already.
He's 95 and still directing movies.
Jeez, man, that dude
who
is
does
holding
that,
out.
Right? I went to his house. I told you about this, but I went to his first house he bought in LA. It was up in the Hollywood Hills, Mulholland, up in Mulholland. But I went to his house because they had an auction, right? So he sold that house to, I think, one of his camera guys, right? And the camera guy, he lived in this house the rest of his life with his wife, right? And then his camera guy dies, and they auction off the house. So basically have an estate sale, right? So everything in the house they sell. They just leave it as is. The wife goes to live with, I don't know, her daughter or whatever, and then they just sell everything in the house. So I went up there to go get some kind of cool, unique Clint Eastwood memorabilia, hopefully, right? Well, shit. It started on a Friday, and it was going to run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I didn't go Friday because I was working. So I go there first thing Saturday morning. Bro, everything's gone. Like, everything. Somebody had come Friday, or multiple whatever parties had come Friday, and pretty much bought everything. I was so mad, bro.
you got nothing.
It was bad, bro.
Oh,
but it was nice to see the stuff, at least from the stuff that was left. It was cool to see some his old stuff that he used to own. Even his tools and stuff he used to have was cool, and some of his old pictures. He had a lot of pictures or whatever, they took between them and stuff. It was good to see background stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. But yeah, it's boring. We've been waiting a while, but I like the wait. I don't like jumping right into season. I need a break, bro. I can't play back to back to back. You see these guys in the chat sometimes and on the team or whatever, like 2 days after the season, what season going on board is fucking, like, bro, what the, do you not have no life? Like, you got to have something that you do besides this game. There's got to be at least one thing that you got going on that you could spend some time.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Like, my God, bro, come on now. We're not getting paid here, bro. Like, seriously. breaks are your friend, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely a much needed break after this past season. You know, it demanded so much time from the active players that yeah, it's a break has been nice. I mean,
Yeah.
like I think I'm at a point where if we were to get into a season next week or so, I'm ready. You know, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. But yes, the break is actually very crucial,
Yeah.
very needed. It burns out, you know.
Well, after you would think if you've been playing this game from the beginning, you would think after, let's say you're on whatever season, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th season. I mean, you would think that people by now want a break, right?
Mm-hmm.
After 18, 19, 20 plus seasons in a
Yep.
row, you would think that people respect the break and want to take advantage of it. I would think that.
Yep. I do hope that we don't set up. I mean, I think Turgon won't. But yeah, setting up a competitive server during summer kills. Oh, that is the worst.
Well, I don't know. You say it's bad because people it's summer and
Because
people are busy, but
usually people would take quite a bit of time off during those times, you know?
yeah, but that works for both ways, right?
True.
Your excuse is you're going to have people missing in action because of the summer. Well, isn't the other teams also? It's not like,
That's
is it
what we
like one
hope,
team
yeah. That's what I
that
hope.
only
Yeah.
plays during the summer? No.
I hope that's what happens with every team. But remember, there was a season with the Pirates where we did play kind of a competitive season, and the other teams were not as idle as we were. So that kind of that.
Well,
that
that was
hurt
an
us a little
that
bit.
was an that was an ambush.
Yeah, that one exactly. That season. That one sucked.
Yeah, there's only been a couple really seasons that left a bad taste in my mouth. Out of all of them, really.
Yep.
A couple. So I think I've been kind of lucky with that.
I agree with you.
Because I mean, if you're put yourself in someone else's shoes, and maybe you're on a smaller team or whatever free to play team, and you have rough seasons all the time, right? I would think.
Yeah.
So,
We do, man.
and if you keep playing, that's a credit to you and your team, because people play this game to win. They're not playing just to well, some people play this game for social interaction, but most of the serious people that play and have been out all along, they play to win. We're not logging in just to
at least the illusion to win, right? At least we're like, yeah, we're in the season to win, and then get to a couple of weeks, okay, we're not going to win, but they still keep fighting for something. But nobody plays like, we're going to get trashed, so we still want to play and get trashed by all these huge teams that we have no way of competing. Yeah, just because, we like to get pounded. It's a normal thing for us, People kind of at least like to have the illusion.
Only season, as far as pounding or getting your ass whooped or wrecked, there's only been a couple seasons that's happened to me. Only a couple where it really got dire, like you're down to whatever, one territory or no territory. There's only a couple like that.
That sucks, dude. Yeah, I mean, let me see. This last one, I think was my first one in probably 6, 7, 8 seasons that was like that struggling. Besides that, everything else was kind of mild.
Well, our cross hasn't always been together.
I think we've been together for what, like a year and a half now?
Yeah, we had like 6 months or a year where you were, I don't know what the hell you were doing. I don't know where my good account was, bro. I had no idea.
Let's see. One season played with Yadu. That's what Nudes became later. And I came a couple of seasons before you to Udes. That's when I was able to bring you over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really where it was.
If I would have stayed in RP, well, you couldn't at the time. It was better just to not play because it was so imbalanced. But if I would have stayed another 6 months, it would have become balanced again.
Exactly. So I'm glad we stuck it out, because that you coming to NRP was kind of at that point like, man, this is just unplayable. You know,
Was you couldn't people against good against Dane
exactly.
and
So
whatever Bjorn and Gallup, you just couldn't do it. It was too hard, man.
Yep. All right, guy. I think some of you guys are asking what commanders I've unlocked. So sadly, I haven't been able to play, to log into this account every single day. But I think out of the 10 days, 7 days that we started this account, I logged in probably 3 or 4 out of the 7. So currently, this is what we have. Yesterday I did the free poll and unlocked Arwen. So that's the third T2 commander that we have now on this account. 6 commanders. Think about this: 6 commanders within a week of just free polls. I can't say it's bad, considering it's a completely free-to-play account. Not a single dollar has been put into this, and it won't be put into this. This is mostly just to show you guys what a free-to-play account, kind of like the minimum a free-to-play account will have by the end of a 3rd season once they officially hit bag end. Now you can say, okay, if I put $50 a season, what you can expect to have. But if you guys been following this series, maybe somebody is new here. If you're completely free-to-play, you're going to have to completely optimize and maximize all of the gems that you get, all of the respect items that you get. Don't go just putting stuff out there because you have something. Just hold it for now. So for example, in this case, what I'm gonna do is just get me a Boromir. He's gonna Boromir. It could go either Dwalin or Boromir. I'm gonna lean towards Boromir because I do have 2 damage dealers that are T2 that I would most likely use. But in this case, I'll just keep it for now. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna give it to Boromir just yet. Zenith Ori, go for it. Yeah, let's go. But look at this. This is what first, basically, officially, like that I've been playing at least 7-8 days into the game. 7,733 gems. I used like 30 gems to finish a building during a live stream. I'm pretty confident we'll have about 10 or 15, potentially 15,000 gems at the end of the season. Not a whole lot, but if you save all these things, you can get some nice pieces of gear or chests that you kind of want to play with, So just be patient. Look at all the gear. We got a few more purple pieces of gear. We got this one just barely. We got this one just barely as well. And a lot of blues. Okay, so just hold on to these. Got more stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. But just keep them. Not in a hurry to do anything. It's not like we're going to be fighting competitively just yet. I still got to get some more tiles. Get the levels up. So we can get ready to even kind of play around with this later in the season.
Man, there's no way I could do this.
Do what?
What you're doing. No way, bro. No way.
Well, I'm experiencing the free-to-play, experience just so we can kind of work on some guides later, down the line for newer players or free-to-play.
Yeah.
So that's really a lot has changed in the gameplay. Funny enough, at least for the beginning.
I understand.
It's rough though. Yeah, it is rough.
No way. No way. Nope. Nope. I got to figure out what the hell I'm doing with my guys. Who's going to be my 3 teams for next season?
You do, man.
Maybe I ought to do that now.
Maybe you should.
Share screen and get some advice. But I got to cut 2 people. I don't know who to cut.
Demon Goddess. Oh, imagine having 3 teams.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it was 4 for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to figure out. I got 14 that are geared and are good. But I got to figure out what 12 of those 14. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's see what everybody thinks. I'll do that. Might as well do it now. All right.
More here. Chew what we can. All right, I want to share your screen just a second here. Look at that. I could get Legolas to R1, y'all. That's it. We're saving. We ain't using it just yet.
He'd be a good one for you.
Yeah, free to play for sure.
Aramir's good though.
Yeah, we're probably gonna use these two as our damage dealers. Boromir as the tank, and we're hoping to luckily get an unlock on Gandalf the Grey. If I get those four, man, we can build a solid free to play team here for seasons 4 or 5.
Yeah.
100%.
You just need a good support, and you're good. Yep. Somebody with healing preferred, and you're good.
Yep. Exactly. Now, let me pull up your screen here. All right, give me a second.
Turgon says when you get 2, 3, 4 teams, you have to manage stuff differently.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the same. You need definitely be more diligent and patient and more resources, and have to play the game definitely play the game differently when you're using multiple teams and not one. Because when you use one, it's just like YOLO kind of. You can just do whatever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kinda, but it doesn't work that way with multiple teams. There's advantages and disadvantages.
100%.
Running multiple teams.
Man, you are up, bro.
A lot of these guys you see that are running around whatever top of the merit boards, they're usually one team, and they just YOLO out, and a lot of them have somebody else playing the account, so it's running 24/7, just fight as soon as they can march, fight. It's easier to fight too when you have one team, because your barracks goes so much further. You got basically 3 times the amount of barracks of a guy running 3 teams. You have 3 times the amount of barracks to spend. Right?
Yeah, and a lot of times you have kind of a main PvP, and then you're kind of testing out the other two to see how well they fit together. So that alone also takes some playing around with, and so you do tend to lose more troops doing that test as well.
Well, if you're new to doing the 3 teams, if you're been doing 3 teams a long time, like I have, there ain't no testing no more. You need to put shit together that works. It ain't got to win, right? It ain't got to win every fight, but it's got to do something, because you're wasting your time multiple seasons in running multiple accounts if you don't know what you're doing. But there is some aspect of testing and changing a guy in and out, though. You see that guy up in the corner there, the top left? That's my favorite player in the game. See him up there?
SBC Moon.
That's right.
Dude is legit. Doesn't stop.
Yeah. So I got 14 guys. Tell me what you think as far as who are the 2 people that I got to put on the bench.
All right, cool. Jeez, man, I look at some of your evil commanders, dude. Oh.
So we got this guy. He's at the bottom.
Okay.
So we got Gilgalad. He would be a support player. All right, then you go next to this one. This would be a support, obviously. It's not a damage dealer.
So what's formation 1? Just so people know what you're playing with.
I kind of think it's going to be the same, right? But I don't know. Somebody, a couple people are saying switch out Bjorn for Scalham. So
it depends what you want to do. If I had a Scalham that was high respect, I probably play her. I think she is. I've seen what I like about Scalham is that she will, different than Bjorn and Dane. She might be very close to dying after fight 1, but she'll still do 70,000, 80,000 with no troops, because she's such high damage at very, very early rounds that if you want somebody to do things like that, I'd definitely be playing her. But I don't have her in any of the accounts that I play. I don't have her. You know, and kind of you do need a little bit of the relic to do that, the extra damage. So I like, you know, I like Scouthelm. I think she's pretty dope, personally.
Yeah. So then you got Bjorn, and then you got Gandalf the White. You got to keep track of this because there's a lot, right?
Yeah.
You got to remember what 2 out of this needs to be cut. You got Dane.
What else?
You got Gandalf the White. Support.
Well, you got Azra to Z1 already.
Did I?
Yeah.
How do you know that? Oh, you get right
send
there.
it on your left screen. That's nasty.
Scouthelm.
Oh, bro.
Who's next?
Freaking Gotham against Z3. Oh, that's disgusting.
Saruman.
Gee, it's a star. Holy crap.
Next, you got Karun. Support.
Have you considered running the formation similar to what we saw Lucy running?
Well, it's the same. He has basically the same as we have the same 18, but not Shadow. I wouldn't do Shadow over Bjorn. No, not over those. So when you have multiple formations, you have to make sacrifices. All right.
Yep.
So, first thing people are going to be like, well, why don't you do this, or why isn't that there, or put this here, or use that on him, and you got to take into consideration. It's 3 teams, okay? So you're not going to have every commander be like some Super Kraken's A-team setup because you're trying to use gear across 12 commanders.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to make each one of the 12 viable, good.
Yep.
So, yeah, sure, I could take all this gear and all this stuff and make 4 commanders, probably ultra, meta, whatever, Super Kraken, but it's 12.
Yeah.
I mean, Sestaro. Yeah, I've tried the what you're talking about, Nazgul. I've tried that before. I've tried everything at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody testing crazy things, I mean, not when I say crazy, just multiple types of builds, definitely Jax is one of them.
Yeah, I've tried I think everything at this point.
So who are the two you're considering dropping?
Well, let's get through all of them, and then we'll see what everyone thinks. That's why we're doing this, right?
Okay, so
advice. You got Shadow.
All
right, who's next?
So you got Shadow, you got Lurtz, you got Gil, you got Galadriel.
Yeah.
Scouthelm. Saruman. You got Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Grey. You got Karun. You got Castaro. By the way, I got correct. Anything with the C in Lord of the Rings is pronounced with a K. So I've been saying Castaro forever, and I think it sounds cool. But the correct way to call is Kistaro with a K. Funny enough.
Who told you that? How do you know that?
This is Tyus from Void and Null.
And how do we know that Tyus knows what he's talking about?
Because he said that everything in lore in that Tolkien wrote, and everything with the C, any names with C, they pronounce with the K, like Celeborn.
Yeah, but how do we confirm this? I know he's saying that. How do you confirm it?
We'll find that. I'll tag him and we can ask him. I had a couple of people. Sauron? Yeah, I got a couple of people saying the same. Sauron. All right, there we go. So Sauron. Who else? Undying. Do I have Undying in the list? Undying.
And then you got Undying. So that's 14. So 2 of these people need to be cut.
Shadow,
so where are they? Who gets cut here, people?
9, 10, 11, 12. So let me read the list to you because I got 12. So I probably
do it again real quick.
So Shadow, Lurtz, Gil, Galadriel, Scalhelm, Saruman, Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Grey, Kirun, Kastaro, Sauron, Undying. Did you say Witch King? Or
No.
No Witch King, okay. Who are the
He's
others?
not good enough.
Who's the other two? Oh, Bjorn and Dane. Bjorn and Dane. Okay.
So Witch King is just not good enough, bro. I've tried many times. He's just not good enough. The only way I see Witch King maybe working is building a draw machine 3 support build.
Yeah.
With like Sauron, Witch King, Karun, and then like Saruman, something like that, where it's pure CC. But it's draws every time, so.
So let me just kind of do. I wish I had this little thing built that I was trying to build with ChatGPT, which is for I put all the commanders in the roles and it kind of give me the potential different builds. So you have. Let me just do a little bit of tagging here. So he's a DD. He is a support. Galadriel is support. You got Scalhelm as a DD. You got Saruman as a DD. You got Gandalf the White as a support. You got Gandalf the Grey as support. You got Kirun as support. Support slash. Yeah, support as CC, I guess. The Star is the damage dealer. Sauron is support with CC. Undying as you. I'm assuming you run Undying like as your support tank, right?
Yeah, Undying's definitely not getting cut.
Okay, no. I'm just writing here so I can see because the way I like to build if I'm going to build more than one formation is at the end of last season, for example, doing my live streams, I was doing a lot of T2. I was testing a lot of T2 formations to see just how sustainable, how well the resource trade was, even if I lost. Because when you're trying to sustain 3-4 formations, it's not necessarily about winning the fight, but being able to sustain, the conscription throughout the whole day, kind of, That's you're trying to prolong your fighting as much as you can. So my thought was I think running T2 units for me will likely be the best way for me to be able to fight nonstop as much as possible. So to make go ahead.
Yeah, you're not gonna if you're using multiple formations, you can't fight nonstop forever. There's just no way. I don't care what you do. Use T1s, you're not gonna be able to fight nonstop.
For sure. Well, yeah, my idea is just what's the best way to prolong that fighting ability throughout the day, right? Instead of running T4s, instead of running chariots, right, and then doing 10 hits and being done for 2 days, what can I use that is in cutting that cooldown period from 2 days to 4 hours, 5 hours for a couple more hits? It definitely is going to help the team overall. So you got some really good tanks here. You could, I think this is the way I saw you running last season. You got Galadriel that you could be your tank. You got Undying. So I see 2 formations with one Undying being the tank, the other Galadriel being the tank. The cool thing about running Undying is that you can kind of run no White Council. So you can essentially run Undying, Sauron, and then 2 damage dealers. Great right there, perfect setup. And then you can run Galadriel with Gandalf the White, and then 2 damage dealers there. Which leaves you with a 3rd support, which is then Gandalf the Grey. Then you would either need another tank, in my opinion, because Gandalf the Grey just isn't as powerful as Gandalf the White, and then 2 damage dealers. You could think of maybe since this is how I would think. If Gandalf the Grey isn't as powerful as Gandalf the White, so maybe the evasion from Gil paired with Gandalf the Grey could kind of give me the extra survivability that I can pair with 2 powerful damage dealers. So that's one idea that you could run, or you can just pick a last tank to go with Gandalf the Grey and then 2 more damage dealers. The issue is you have 2, 4. You have 7 damage dealers right now.
Yep.
And so 1 damage dealer essentially needs to get dropped, and potentially 1 support. Now, if you think Kirun could be a good tank, kind of like what Sauron does.
Yeah, he is.
So you can pair Kirun with Gandalf the Grey, and then 2 damage dealers. Yeah. That's potentially what, if you want to run Kirun, that's potentially what I would do.
Well, the idea is to have at least one main CC commander, support commander in every formation. Okay,
there you go. So you got it. You got Galadriel. You got Galadriel in one.
One CC commander, and then you gotta, also have a tank, or that can be the tank.
Yep.
But you want to start with that as your foundation. So you got one CC, one tank. All right. Then I would prefer to have one healer, also somewhere in that. Each team has at least one healer.
Okay.
And then your damage dealers are easy, right?
Exactly.
So, but it's a matter of cutting 2. Then once you cut 2 out of these 14, you get it down to 12. Then you got to figure out who goes with who. That's the next step.
Yep. Crazy. I mean, but the thing is, you only have two commanders that actually have real healing here. You got Galadriel. I mean, you got Gandalf. You got Gandalf the Grey as well. It could be a little bit of a healer there with Kirun. So so far I think we've covered your bases. You got Galadriel as your tank in one formation and she's CC, and if you pair that with Gandalf the White, you get a little bit more CC as well.
Gandalf the Grey and Gala together get me around 40 to 50k healing.
Nice. And I mean, your relic on Gala is not fully refined, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's around 40 to 50k healing with Galadriel and Gandalf the White together.
Gandalf the Grey, yep. So look, if you ran Undying with Sauron, you got your tank, healing, and your CC there. Formation 1 kind of done. If you run Galadriel and Gandalf the White, you got double CC healing and tank there.
First thing you got to do is pick the 2 that are getting cut. Then we can figure out who goes.
I mean, I would see. This is the thing. I love Lurtz. I just haven't seen Lurtz. The only person I've seen Lurtz do extremely well in the last, like consistently, was Burak. I don't know if you know who this is, Jack. You might remember him. Turkish guy, Burak 13.
Yeah,
he runs Saruman. Sorry,
he bought Lord Farquaad's account. That's Lord Farquaad's account that he runs.
He runs Lurtz and Saruman, and he is the only one that I've seen do extremely well with Lurtz. Funny enough, everybody else I usually see doing average.
I got wrecked because I did all my relics after 2.0 and I was evil RP. So, like Lurtz has a max relic, Castaro has a max relic. All this crap. It was all evil RP. So
I know.
By the time I got 10 RP, I didn't have any mithril for all these new good commanders.
It looks good, man. It's nostalgia seeing your account. Oh, good old.
So we got to figure out 2 people to cut.
So I would just probably cut Lurtz and give me a second here. Give me a second.
It's so hard to cut Lurtz because he has a max relic.
I know. Give me a second. Let me look at my notes. Let me look at my notes.
Look at your notes.
Let me see here. We did a freaking tier list recently. Let me look at my notes. It's stupid not to look. All right, give me a second. Where is this? Where is it? Oh, here we go. Let's look at the very end. So, you got to consider that you also have relics and high respect on quite a few of them. But the 6 that I run would be for damage: Saruman, Bjorn, Dane, Shadow, Castaro, Skelhelm, and in your case, Lurtz, because you have a high respect Lurtz and you don't have Elmer or Gimli. So these would be the 6 damage units that I run.
Does that leave out?
If so, you're gonna have to choose between Lurtz and one of the other 6. Saruman, Bjorn, Dane 3, Shadow, Scowhelm 5, and then Kistaro 6. Right. So you're gonna have to just.
So it's Lurtz, right?
Yeah.
It's Lurtz. Lurtz gets cut with a max relic. Can you imagine?
But
You
that's
got a
the. But this is what I did. This is what I do. This is what I do.
didn't use Lurtz last season.
Jeez.
I didn't use him. Can you imagine you got an account. You have a max relic commander damage, and you don't even use the guy.
But this is the thing, though. I would probably bring Lurtz up before I do like Dane, for example, and then just save all. Like that's probably the only thing I do. I probably bring Lurtz before Dane or Bjorn because of the the respect you have on Lurtz and on the refines, and just save the extra, the XP stuff for later in the season after you fought a lot with Lurtz, because he would be one of my mains for sure. I don't think I would waste so much respect and refines on the relic over Dane. This is me personally. I would want to play with Lurtz on purpose because of all the investments in him. And then after you fought 50, 60 times with big players, swap it out, do the XP exchange from the ring ability, and play one of the other 2, Bjorn or Dane, and see, look, bro, freak, it's nuts, it's sad, but my Dane is overpowering my R11 Dane is overpowering my Z6 Lurtz. Which I'm not sure if he will, to be honest with you.
Well, the Z's kind of really don't matter. If you get R10 on anybody, that you can use them kind of now.
True. But the nice thing about it being at least Z1, you do get that extra 3 damage, which it does bring Lurtz high up there.
So you're saying cut Lurtz for Dane? Is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, that's probably what I do. I put Lurtz in place of Dane first, and then later in the season, just swap it out. Like I'm gonna see if Dane's outperforms my setup with Lurtz, but now Dane instead.
Well, whatchamacallit, Nazgul says run 1 support 3 DDs. Like Raz does that. The old pirate. Some other people do that. And that can work, but you're gonna
have to cut somebody else.
I think you need like Undying if you're gonna do that at the very minimum.
Yeah,
Undying 3 DDs because he can at least give you some evasion and healing.
What I do, this is what I'm gonna do in my account is Gil is gonna become my anti-sniping team. I'm gonna run elves with sharpshooters and not sharpshooters with sentinels to counter the people that that snipe reinforcement. Gil's formation with very little investment is really good at taking out main formations that are running eagles or fell beasts. So
I have Roram for that for the.
Oh, true. Of course, yeah.
The goofball coward reinforcement snipers, yeah.
So that's what I would do with Gil in this case, but
I got so what's your choices? It's Dane and Gil. That's your choices.
Yeah, those would be my 2.
Right. Yeah, that's probably it. And then those guys will go. Those 2 will go to the Frodo reinforcement runner.
Good.
Team, and then probably you put Radagast in there for healing.
Yep. So,
yeah.
I'm gonna be excited to see now the results of Lurtz because I could be wrong, but Lurtz is still such a powerful commander Dane not being a Z1 for not having fully refined relic on Dane. And also not being Z1, you might be getting very similar results. Besides the off-flyers reports, you got some off-flyers like, oh, Dano's doing 220. Yes, but that's usually running small units versus eagles.
Yeah.
So that's usually the kind of stuff you will see Dane and Bjorn do those crazy numbers. Not usually on normal, equal footing fights. Usually you don't see that.
Yeah.
So, Let's see, got somebody DMing me. Oh, got Rob the Great. What's up, Rob? Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see where we at here. That was cool though. It's nice. Nice looking at your account, man.
Yeah.
Nasty nightmares in RP. Back in evil RP. Oh, such good times, man. Such good times.
Well, you can have those good times again in that War Nova.
You can, but you know the thing that I was just kind of sharing with a few people. I'm such a big Lord of the Rings fan. This is the reason why I was attracted to this game in the first place. You know, so it's not as easy for me to move on from one mobile game, even though it's very similar to another like that. It's very, very hard for me.
Yeah, I wish I would have. I don't know, chose differently back in the day. But if I wouldn't have played Last Shelter Survival, I could have played War Nova.
True.
it sure would be fun to get in that game and then, you know, theory craft everything and put everything together and then go fight.
There's a lot of theory craft in that game.
There's so many positives to that game, like the developers being a major one.
Yep.
Right there walking with you side by side. I mean, golly, what more can you ask for?
Exactly. But we'll see. As much as this game is still a bit rough, I still enjoy Rise to War quite a bit. After you get through the hurdles of the changes, it's still quite a really good game.
Yeah, Rise to War is in a really good place right now. It's pretty balanced, and they're constantly working on it. So, you know, and the thing we need to do though to make it fun for us is get this big server together. That's what we need.
Bro, we're getting very close. So, I sent a text on Monday. I've been spending. Shout out to Senko. I think that's how you say his name. He kind of initialized this with Turgon, trying to get this mega server going. And then I got involved. I was like, look, I want to give a true shot at this. And if it doesn't work, we go back to our normal, boring, trying to find servers thing. But if it works, bro, it could be the whole different. It could change the season for a lot of teams and for everybody essentially. So we have the leaders in the group. And last week it was like, So, I mean, Cleona can look in the list, but she's been adding leaders from left and right from both RP and NRP teams.
Well, why don't we do what I was suggesting and start having these people join us on the podcast, the daily?
Yeah, we can for sure.
About. We were supposed to get Lucifer.
I mean, he said he still has a bit of time left on this server, so we're getting that cooked.
We'll sit down with him, but I feel like if we invite each of these, you know, bigger teams, their leaders or a leader, whoever, on the chat here and we talk to them, then we can either find out what's wrong or maybe come to, you know.
Yep. So that's what you're saying, right? What you're saying right there was one of the things that I was encountering last week. So the leaders were talking and we kept asking, you know, hey, who's, you know, kind of like raise your hand if you want to participate. People are like, yeah, but maybe, but it's mostly just, you know, previous teams they played against. That whole thing, like, oh, they're probably gonna, you know, pre-align against us, or somebody's gonna do this. I know. Trust me. I've been, you know, trying to explain this many times. So what happened was yesterday, I made a post in the chat, and I said, guys, look, you know, I'll read it to you guys just because. I felt like it was a needed thing because some people have been putting a lot of effort in trying to get this to work.
How come I'm not in that chat?
That's a good question, Cleona.
Not Cleona.
No, I'm saying she's probably watching. She's been helping me manage the server, the Discord server.
Why am I not in that chat? I don't know why I'm not in that chat.
So if she's not in right now, I'll tag her to add.
Because if somebody says to me, "Oh, you know, the people got grudges, or we got ill will, or we want revenge," and
exactly,
that's all great, good, but nobody's going to align with anybody. That's the rules of the server. It's like season 1 all over again. So you pick random locations in the beginning before you enter, like on a spin a wheel. Then once you randomize that, then you go into the server, and then you play the game. It's like, okay, you have whatever, some friends or whatever, and you're trying to secretly do Diplo or whatever, or align with them or team up with them. Well, you can't. I mean, I guess you could. Like, let's say you're in Linden and they're in Erebor. Okay, go ahead and align with them. That's great, but that's not going to save either one of you, right?
Yep.
Because you're going to have to fight through all the other people in between you and them. Doesn't make sense. I mean, the realistic thing is to say you're going to probably going to align with the people that are closest to you, so you have you can survive because you're going to be surrounded by other good teams, right?
Exactly. So I wrote this message yesterday in the morning. So I said, guys, morning leadership. It's been a few days now that we started talking about this mega server. For the sake of time and sanity, please react with the green check mark with a red X if you intend on taking part. We will likely have to push it to the next rotation, but honestly, if your team can play with a past rival to whatever issues, you then might need to drop off. This alone is taking a lot of people's time, personal time, to have to deal with your issues with someone else. So, quite a few teams. So, I'll tell you guys the teams that have confirmed they will participate. So far, we have Order. So Maddox has already said that his team is wanting to participate. We got Gods, we got Lame, we got Step, and we got Merc. 5 top. These are and then U's. Yes. There you go. There's six teams that are probably at the A level. All 6 of them that already said yes to.
We're about halfway
through. Toby also said that they want to participate. And then she just mentioned, Yerti just mentioned about the whole time situation, and which is fine. That's what I told people. Then because some other players were then saying it just depends on the time for us. If so I said, guys, if it's a time issue, we will work that out. I said, no worries, we understand that, and we'll work around the details. So all teams who want to participate can. I just really need to know who is willing to participate. Because the amount of energy is going into this too much if leaders aren't keen to make it happen. And then later on, we talked about beef. If you guys have beef, the only hurdle that we cannot get through is if you have beef with somebody, or you think somebody has a beef with you, and you think that they're going to come after you with a bunch of people. That's the only, because I agree with you, but if people might want to believe that there is, and there's no convincing that we can do.
It's physically impossible. You're picking random spawn locations, right? You don't know where you're going to spawn, and you've got a team full of, a server full of teams. There is no allying with anybody. Until the season starts, and then you just play the game normally, like if it's season 1 all over again. You choose who you're going to ally with, and if in some kind of crazy world, somebody that's worried about grudges and revenge, if you're worried about that, here's what happens, okay? Let's say 2 teams that you hate, and they hate you, and they want to kill you, and you want to kill them. They actually somehow randomize into the same starting location. And, of course, they team up. And, of course, they're going to want to kill you, all right? Well, if it turns out that these 2 teams are super strong, okay, let's say like, I don't know, Lame and Toby, all right, pretty strong, right? So let's say they're the strong teams, and they just wipe out somebody like you. Let's say you're right next to them, all right? So perfect world, perfect storm, all aligns to get yourself wrecked.
Yep.
Let's say they run you over. Well, the whole server is going to see that, right? And they're going to do something about it more than likely. So if they see that 2 people ally with each other and they're far too strong against everyone else in comparison to everyone else, then you're going to have 3 teams or maybe 4 teams that might ally or work together for the time being to slow down this really strong coalition, and it'll balance itself out.
Exactly.
Right? I don't foresee a mega server with 12 solid teams on it being unbalanced. I see balance I see balance throughout the entire season. In fact, all the way to the last day, I see balance being kept and restored if needed, if it becomes unbalanced, because you've got 12 strong teams, competent teams that can do things on their own, and even more so if they have somebody working with them. So I see a back and forth the entire season, and nobody really being dominant, and everybody just kind of doing the best that they can to get to the ring and win, and it would probably be a lot of fun, and probably would be very little problems, I think.
After so much back and forth in this kind of final comment that I made in the group, because honestly, I'll put all the time and effort to make it happen. If I felt that I'm not gonna say I felt that people were doing, but if people are just gonna kind of, hey, yeah, we're kind of interested, but we're not gonna commit, then it's really a bit disrespectful to the people that are putting all. And I'm not even talking about myself. Turgon and Senko, before I got involved, had already put a lot of effort into it. I'm not even talking about me, because I'm doing content and things for the game already, Yeah. But there are people that are helping, saying, look, like Cleona, for example, she's reaching out to a bunch of leaders, trying to bring them on. And so we're trying, the reason why we do these, we're like showcasing the idea of the server in a live stream, is just to get everybody to understand the principle. It's just a big server. Just like Jack said, I'm not even going to add on that. But I think after yesterday's conversation, people really understand that we're going to keep it as, we're going to make sure everything is as balanced and clean and clear as possible. And then done.
Well, it sounds like you need help, son. I'm not sure why I'm not in that chat, but you should add me. I don't know what objections that anybody can really say. And as far as committing, the only thing that means, if you say I commit, is that means when this is finally ready.
Exactly.
It gets planned, and then everybody, whoever needs to waits, and then it happens. That's all it is.
That's all it is. Exactly.
You say, I commit as a leader, and now you're trapped or something, or you got to stop everything you're doing. And no, you just keep playing the game normally, stay in your season, whatever. It's once you get everybody to commit and say, okay, we're on. Now we know we have 12, 14, 16 teams. We have the people that we need to put this together. Now we have to plan it, and then we have to align the times, and people have to finish their seasons, or people that are already finished have to wait a little bit, whatever. And you start to plan it, and have it come to be, right?
That's hunch all it is. This is going to be probably one of the best seasons in the servers in the game.
It will be, without a doubt. Once it happens, it will be the best season that has ever happened in the game.
I'm sure we're gonna be hitting, we're gonna be breaking records and pins everywhere.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be able to, if you're on the server, you're gonna be able to say that you're participating, and while you're participating, one, you're always gonna have that memory, but two, you're gonna see all the people from the game, all the prominent players and strongest teams and strongest players, and you're gonna see everything that's possible. The game's full potential in action live, right? And then even beyond that, the better thing is now, once that season ends with those 12, 14, 16 teams, guess what? You do it again.
You already got the model that worked.
You already got them all aligned. And then if somebody doesn't want to play the next season, they want to take a break. Okay, that means it's like the Premier League. Somebody else steps in. One gets relegated. Another one comes in to take their place, right?
Exactly.
And that's the goal. Every season, no matter what team you are, is building towards joining this Premier League of servers.
Exactly.
Teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're always playing. Every season's enjoyable, and who knows who wins? Anybody could win in this scenario. Like, literally any team. Doesn't matter you're the strongest of the 12 or the weakest. Things go right. Things play out. Anybody's got a chance in this type of server. There is no one team dominates, because everybody's strong and everybody's playing the game like season one. It's just, do the best you can, right?
Yes, sir. That's the idea.
There's no 6 teams against one type bullshit. There's none of that. It's just probably most people are just going to ally with whoever they spawn next to, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who that is. That could be the strongest team with the weakest team, or it could be 2 mid-level teams, or you don't know. Or let's say it's the 2 strongest teams randomly spawn in the same, and they're too strong. All right, well, we need 3 teams against these guys. So we put it together. We need 4 teams, slow them down, give everybody a chance. Well, that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to steamroll in a server like that. It's impossible.
Yeah, it is pretty possible. Exactly. Oh, I'm excited. It just I think we're in like in the final stages of getting that ready now, which is exciting. At least, like you said, like getting people to commit, say, okay, yeah, I can see how that's gonna work. We're down. So I don't think now having Cleona added another like 5 or 6 other leaders just today, I think. So I think we're in a very good place to have the 12, at least the 12, 12 or, I mean, 16 would be freaking nuts if we could get that many.
Well, if you start with 12, I think 10 or 12 is the starting point just to get it going, right? And then I think what happens is after it starts to get coverage and people start to stream it or talk about it, whatever, then you're going to see other teams wanting to join for the next season, and it'll grow from 10 to 12 or 12 to 14. It'll become more popular is my point, right? And then it's going to grow from there. You just have to get it going at least one season so that everyone sees like whatever their fears or insecurities or whatever they have are unfounded. It's just, once everybody sees it's a cool server, it's a cool idea, it's good, it's fun, then people want to gravitate toward it and more want to join.
One thing here, Nazgo had a good question. He said, is there a possibility for people? You kind of just gave the idea, Nazgo. So let me kind of give you my thought on this. He asked, is there a possibility for people to solo sign up to fill up teams? Like if my team doesn't want to, but I want to. Now that's a good question. So I think how we can remedy that. Once we know all the teams that are gonna participate, we can see, kind of see what team does not have 100 players. And then we can kind of do recruitment specifically just for that season. Hey guys, I'm gonna take a break from him because I want to participate in that big server. Then you can kind of pitch yourself to one of the teams, saying, "We'll give you a list of all the 5 teams that has openings," and you can say, "Look, this is my account. This is my past experience. I like to play with you guys for this season," and then people can accept you there. Go ahead.
You could even do it like this. You could do it like this, where whatever team, you could do it like the sports league. So whatever team comes in last in the first season, they get the first pick of those potentially hypothetical 5 players that want to join solo, right?
Yeah.
But joining solo, Nazgul, Fire, I'm pretty sure Fire would definitely want to join the mega server. I don't think that you would need to join solo. I think they would want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think they did say no already, at least for the time being.
Well, maybe right now, but I don't know why they wouldn't want to do that in the future. I'm pretty sure they would want to join. Well, if not right now, at some point in the future, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I saw Pawpaw joined. Wow,
Pawpaw, where is he?
Server.
Oh,
that is the Void and Null guy.
Yeah, he joined. Yeah, he joined our server. Yeah. We're getting a lot. We're getting a lot of people. We're getting a lot of people in the server.
That's nice.
By the way, the reason why a lot of people are joining is because of this mega server conversation. By the way,
yeah, I'd like to see those guys over there too, Void and Null, and they can jump in. Whoever, it doesn't matter how strong you are, and I mean you can't be the weakest as long as you're mid-level.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't matter how weak you are as long as you're mid-level to some degree, right? Because you gotta have some power. Pretty much anybody can join it from mid-level up, right? And nobody dominates this server. It's impossible. You got 10 other teams. They won't have it. The whole server will kill you. Let's say like you're God himself, and you build a team. The whole server's just going to wipe you, bro. Like, get out of here. So.
Exactly. That's the, I think at least the leaders that are already in the group that read our last couple of days messages, I think they understand the principle, the premise of this server. And so I do think after people see, because we're going to live stream that server for sure is going to be live stream every single day. We want to give full exposure to it. I think people are going to love what's going to happen to that server.
Well, you're going to see things that you've never seen before in that server. And a lot of it, you're going to have so many prominent people and powerful players in that server and teams and you're going to be able to see those people live in action. You're going to be able to talk to those people live in the world chat. You're going to be able to interact. You're going to be able to meet and fight and befriend whatever people from across the game, prominent, powerful people. And it'd be a blast, bro. It's a win-win.
Yep.
There really are no negatives to this. It's all positives. So
if I may say one thing, so I've said this in multiple chats. I said this in live streams before. One main theme across some conversations in multiple places has been, we want a fun server, but when you read between the lines is, we want a fun server that is more aligned with the likelihood that we will be the ring winners. People say,
there's no such thing.
Exactly. But just
no such thing as one team somehow is like whatever. How is that even possible? It's not.
Bro.
There's no way that's possible.
Yeah,
one team is
I thought the same.
Secretly in the shadows, puppeting. What? No. It's more likely that if you are somehow the most powerful team, that you're going to get wrecked in this kind of server. That's the actual reality. It's
basically
far more probable that a mid-level team to upper string team is going to be the winner of that server, because they're not going to be seen as the threat.
Yep. It's basically a big old Royal Rumble. We're getting all the chickens and putting inside of a ring and saying fight. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited for that server, to be honest. And I think we finally aligned everybody's vision too and stuff. So I think we're going to get it to work. I don't think. I'm 95% confident that the mega server will happen. So
I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. So it's gonna be some really cool teams. So far the teams that if anybody that's jumping on right now, I think you guys asked this. The teams that have, let me go back to my list here. The teams that have already said that they will participate are, let's see, Order. Oh gee, oh not this one. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So Order, Merc, Toby, Order, Toby. Where else? Where is it? Jeez Louise. It's 6. Give me a second, y'all. It's too many conversations to follow. Here we go. So Merc, Order, Step, Lame, Gods, and Nudes so far. So these 6 teams. Mine and Home have not said yes or no yet. Let me see. Have they said no? Nope. They haven't said yes or no yet. Bear. I thought Bear was with Merc. I guess not. But we got to reach out to them then. Yeah. The rest haven't said anything yet. What is with small? They declined as well for now, at least. So 6 teams. There are a couple teams that are they're still thinking about it. So you have Panda, for example, is a team. It's definitely a strong team that could participate. And I do think that Panda, this is my personal, thought. I think Panda will end up participating.
Okay.
That's just my thought here. They have a couple of questions now regarding time. It's just a couple of different things, but I think they will participate. Good question. Wind, I think we invited Wind and they said no. Sadly. Guys, if you're part of those teams, then if you guys want to participate, just tell your leaders, look, watch this live stream. They're very clear what the idea for the server is, like what's holding us from trying. It could be the funnest server, the season you guys are gonna play in your lives. So Jax, you are in the group now. Okay, you're typing. Good. You are in the chat now.
Post the link to this video so they can go back and watch this and see some of this discussion about it.
Yeah. What whale team is going to wait for the mega server to start on to try to get free wins in other servers? But that's the idea, Robs. The idea. Everybody complains about not having. A lot of teams complain about not having enough teams to fight against. This is something that we're trying. Not every team wants to have a fun competitive season. Some teams want to have easy wins. Although they claim they want fun, but in the end they want an easy win for the ring. Because that's what is fun to them. No competition, being able to zero a server and stuff. So, for some leaders and teams, that's their version of fun. But for a lot of other teams, they actually let me be honest. This last season was one of the funnest seasons I've had in a long time. We lost. We didn't get the ring. We got the gray badge, whatever you want to call it. But fighting wise, the funnest. Non-stop fighting until the last few hours when we tried to take the third capital that we weren't able to. Extremely fun. So I think we're finding the ones that are willing to. I mean, the 6 teams I already said yes to, top level teams. Yeah. So I'm not worried about the fun in it. We got
need to be the strongest teams. You just have to be mid-level. That's it. You don't have to be the strongest because it's random. You choose before. We'll do like a randomizer on some website, and it'll say, okay, it'll tell you you're going to Enidwaith. All right, well, there it is. So everybody knows. Then when you sign up for the season, we agree to do. We all wait or whatever, we're all ready. Then you're going to sign up and pick whatever the randomizer picked. And then when you go in, it's like season 1. If you remember your season 1, nobody knew anybody. There was no diplomacy. Everybody was on their own party of one, whatever, on their teams. And then from there, you can do diplomacy or whatever and go find whoever you want to be friends with or kill whoever you want to kill. But nobody steamrolls this type of server.
Yeah.
There's too many other competent teams on the server. Nobody is just going to run over, or nobody's guaranteed to win. Anybody can win.
Yep.
Anybody can, lose. You don't know what'll happen.
Yep.
Who knows if anybody even gets the freaking ring on this server because there's so many strong teams. Like, who realistically think about it? If you get 5, let's say half the teams can get to the ring, just get to the ring. Now you have 5 or 6 teams at the ring fighting. Who in the world's going to snipe the freaking Dolgador? Who pulls that off? Be a cult server. There are going to be no dominant anybody because let's say you are a dominant team. You're going to have 2 or 3 other teams right next to you that are ready to check you at any given time, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
There's no way you can. I don't care who you are, how strong you are. 3 competent, good teams come at you, you're dead. You're getting wrecked. That's it,
sir.
That's all.
Yep. Plain and simple. Tyrus, talk to Rain. Then we'd love to have Small joining. It'll be fun. So we got 6 top caliber teams. You got Lame, you got Gods, you got Youths, Toby, Merc, and Order. I mean, that alone, those 6 teams in one server is already top notch. Now getting it 2 more, at that level, and then we can get other 8, mid-sized teams to combine with those 8, and it's gonna be an epic server.
Yeah, it'll be one that, unlike any other before, and it'll be legendary, bro. Imagine having all those people in the same chat, the same world chat, talking to each other. That's great, right? And then you can fight everybody. I mean, the fights would be ridiculous. I think it would just be ridiculous. And the best thing is you're all on the same timeline going forward. So now you can rinse and repeat every season.
Yeah. New
teams joining, a team, dropping off, whatever. It's like the Premier League. It's every season. Now you got a league. We're in a league. We have our own league in Rise to War. Imagine that. We can do that.
Imagine. I wouldn't be surprised after this season, the devs implement a matchmaking system after seeing how successful that's going to be.
I doubt it. But
I wouldn't be. I would. You know why I wouldn't be surprised? There's quite a few things that was implemented into the game after they saw the community build.
yeah,
So I wouldn't
but
be surprised. Something similar at least.
We have the potential to make our own league, and it's just a matter of getting everybody together. And there's no reason to be afraid of joining. There really isn't. Listen to everything discussed here in this chat today, and it should answer all your questions. I mean,
Yep.
it's very straight. It's very straightforward. It's win-win. There's really no negatives at all.
Nope, I agree. It's gonna be good. We already got people committed, so it's just streamlining the rest and then starting and pinpointing people's end dates for their next season and say, like, hey, after this, everybody sits and back in for a week or 2, 3. Everybody aligns. We all join. We do the randomizing show where we'll pick, we'll kind of do a wheel or pick out of the hat. The wheel's going to be better, actually. Can't pick out of the hat. And then, this is your partner, your starting position. Get to talking internally. No Diplo before the season starts, please. And, yeah, then we all get ready for that server. It's going to be nuts. We got here Maddie and Peeping.
So what's the next topic video are you doing? Like a tier list, or what are we doing? What's the next thing?
Oh, the next thing I have in my list is going to be the unit tier list. That's in my
okay.
To pair up with.
When's that happening?
Probably after I move. I'm moving houses this week, so we can definitely set something up for next week. Yeah, moving houses. Crazy.
She says in chat, get a clue. So no duo teams. You get squatted up with a random. No, you're not squatted up. You don't. We're not picking who's teaming with who.
Exactly.
When we say it's randomized, that's just your spawn location. So you go to a randomizer website, and then it's going to randomly select the faction you're going to join. Now you go as the leader and you select that faction to register into the server. Once the server begins, or I guess even before, you can see who else is going to be around you, and then you can. Once you get into the season, you can do diplomacy.
Yeah.
You can do, choose to maybe ally with your neighbor or not ally with your neighbor. I don't know. But you can kind of do whatever you want at that point. And if somebody chooses to try and build this strong coalition, together, I don't think it'll happen. But let's say 3 or 4 teams say, okay, we're all allies or whatever, which would be ridiculous. Then I would suspect that the rest of the server is going to stomp you out.
Yeah, it's gonna average itself out.
Really, I think the most you'll see is just 2 people choosing to be allies, 2 teams. That's it. That's all you need is 2. And that's kind of the normal way it works. Is 2 teams normally ally or make a kingdom or whatever. So, but if somebody says, okay, well, we're gonna get 3 or 4. Well, the server's not going to allow that. They're going to be like, no, because that's not fair. Because everyone else only has us and their own teammates. So 2 teams, and you're trying to make 4 on 1 team. This is wrong, and we're going to come for you. So,
yeah. Essentially, it's basically we're getting people to come into a server, and then after the season starts, it's a free for all. If somebody sees something that's gonna imbalance the server, and they might want to try to do something about it, everybody's gonna be free to do what they want after the season starts, but ideally is just bringing everybody in an equal footing,
yeah,
randomized places, so there's no like, oh yeah, hey Toby, we're buddies, go to the land right next to us so we can help each other. No,
right,
make it as impartial as we can humanely do. And then once you get into the server, all right, you guys play it out, and then see what happens.
More than likely, what happens is because it's randomized and you
Mm-hmm.
don't know who's going to be next to you, more than likely what will happen and transpire is teams are going to choose their ally from whoever's right next to them.
Oh,
I mean, that's just
most
logical,
likely,
right?
yeah. Yep.
So yes, we understand everyone's probably going to choose a teammate. So there'll be, if it's 10 teams on the server, it'll be basically, you're talking about 5 teams is what it's going to boil down to, right?
Yep.
Because most likely everyone chooses at least one ally, and that's it. I don't think anybody's going to be like, all right, well, we're 3 teams or we're 4 teams as one. No, it'll probably just be a bunch of 2 teams everywhere. So 5 teams of 2. But the thing that's cool about it is you have no fucking idea who your neighbor is, and you don't get to choose that.
Yep.
It's random. So you could be the weakest team, and then the strongest team spawns next to you, or 2 mid-level teams spawn next, or strong and strong. You don't know, right? You have no idea who your neighbor is going to be, and more than likely you're going to ally with your neighbor, because if you don't, then you're going to be fighting with them the entire season. As you go forward, they're still going to be in your spawn region, which is the bad business, right? So
Exactly. You spot on, Jax. By the way, really quick, just Hyperno's asking, how do I get a ring next to your name? Just become a member of our premier YouTube channel. Should be a button next to, under the live, there should be a button next to subscribe saying join. And you can join. It's one of the ways you can support the channel, and I would appreciate that. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of hopped on the train as soon as he said, I gotta hop on the train. If you can support it, it's gonna be a great server, guys.
I think Elil and Noad would want to join as well.
Sadly, at least Elil for now said no. Sadly.
Well, that's because they're already in season, but
Yeah, I mean, even after I mentioned that comment.
Yeah, I think there's very few that would just outright say no, even whenever down the road or now. If they're saying no, I don't think it's a long-term no from anybody, because once you get it going, at least the first season you put together, minimum whatever 8 or 10, whatever it is, the minimum. Then once that happens and everybody sees it is exactly what we're saying it is, sure, there's going to be like some curveball here and there. But once they see it's majority what we're saying it is, and it works fine and it's fun, then everybody will be on board. I'm pretty sure.
I hope. I think we're going to get there. All right, guys, really quick. If you guys, here we go. Look at that goes. Look at that. It's a member for 23 months. Look at that. All right, look. If you guys are wanting to join, just like so you can be cool, like Ghosts. I'm posting the link here. Just click on that link. It's my YouTube @YouTube/join, and you guys can join and be cool like Ghost and Moon and Angus and everybody else. It's gonna be a dope server. Probably it probably end up being the server after the summer at this point, which I think is a good place to start. Everybody has had a nice summer to chill, without. Come on, there's no way we could play this server, throughout the summer. That would be crazy. I think personally, it'd be crazy. So right after the summer. Yeah, sorry, after summer. Yes. Or summer for some places. Where I'm at, it's summer in June, July, August. And so for a lot of people, it's also summertime. So. But that's what we do. It's going to be a good server. What we got here? Freak. I want something with small units. It's so good to see everybody here. We got 40 people watching. This is so dope on a freaking new player stream. I bet people are like, yo, they're talking about the mega server. And people are just hopping on.
Yeah, we need to get the leaders on here, man. We need to start doing that. If you're on here live every day, it's not that hard. I mean, just need to start inviting leaders on. Whoever's holding out or has questions or concerns or whatever, let's get them on here, man. Whoever's not committed, get them on here. Invite them.
Let's get it.
Get her done.
Get her done. Oh, I miss hearing you say that, man. Freaking 1.0 vibes. It's been a while since you said that, for sure. Oh, there we go. This is the one. This is the one. Yes. I'm attacking. I'm busy doing the new banner and stream overlays. Man, I'm loving to see you putting out content, man. It's good. The game needs it. We have just a few of us left, so we take all the help we can get. I have a long night tonight, man. Whew. Brazil plays.
Oh.
Brazil plays versus Paraguay for the World Cup qualifiers, and I decided to make the leap and stay up, watch it. I hope I don't regret it.
Your long night has a completely different definition of my long night.
Oh, I think I took the hint, but.
Fair to say, mine is more enjoyable.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I got what you mean. Yo, shout out to Hyperion. He just joined the Cool Kids Club. He's our new Hobbit supporter. Hyperion, I appreciate it, man. You have no idea how much that is helpful. By the way, Jax, have you been playing the early release of Dune Awakening?
But it's so popular, bro. It's the most popular game on Steam. Wow. It is just going crazy.
You've been playing
hundreds of that. No, I ain't played it yet.
All right.
You got hundreds of thousands of players though, and everybody's saying good things. I haven't seen any bad at all. Only bad was just the servers not being able to hold all the players.
Oh, jeez.
That's it. People having to wait, but that game is. Everyone's saying it's the most polished and. It's the greatest AAA release, and such a good MMO and survival, and just all good comments. Hella fun, but yeah, I thought I was gonna jump in, but man, it's gonna be pure Zergan, bro, over there eventually.
How was business? Everything good, man?
Yeah, just working. It's a slow process. It's gonna take several months with the city and. Putting in a new license, a new name, a new DBA, and new logo, and new everything. It's like building a business from the ground up. So It's just going to take a lot of time. And then once everything's in place and you can go out and get new customers and accounts and then start working, and that's when the money starts coming in later. Yeah, but it's a lot to pay for up front. Just getting liability insurance for a year is like $7,000 just to pay for 1 year liability insurance for the company. So a lot of upfront expense.
Wow, that is a lot of money. Jeez.
Oh yeah. California is maybe the most expensive place to do business in America.
Probably.
It's nuts. It's so hard. I see why a lot of businesses leave the state. It's just so expensive. So many restrictions and red tape.
A lot of things to pay too, right?
Yeah. Taxes are like 30% or something, and you got the, all the other crap you got to pay for, and it's just crazy, bro. It's nuts. You need to make so much money to actually make any money.
I bet, bro. Jeez, I bet. Been there a couple times. Beautiful place, but definitely. Rough place to live for sure.
Yeah, to do business in. It's easy to live here. It's so nice, but
affording it is the hard.
hard to afford.
Exactly. When I make it big, then I'll have the means to do that.
Well, if you're gonna make it big, I think a problem with a great number of people in life is they never actually figure out how they're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't actually come up with the idea of how am I going to make it big. They don't, or they don't have a goal.
Exactly.
Well, because if
You're right.
you sit down and you think about it, you formulate a plan, a goal to make it, to get there, to whatever that goal is, or business or idea. Well, once you have that goal, okay, then if you tell yourself in your own mind that every day I'm going to get up and I'm going to make sure this happens and nothing else is going to get in my way until it does, then you've got a chance.
Yep.
You got a shot.
Yep.
But I find the problem is that a great number of people never even get that far.
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
They never even have that goal or that idea that they can get behind and 100% commit to, and will not accept anything else but that goal being realized. They just never even get that far. So I think my point is you're going to have to start with something that is your goal or your idea. And then once you figure out that, then you can start working towards it. But that's step one. So let's figure out what that goal is.
100%. You're right, though. You're kind of thinking about it, a few weeks ago. It's exactly what you said. Most people, they have that desire, but then you have to map it out, what that goal looks like, and then say, look, I'm not done until I'm done, And most people don't even get to actually that first step that you mentioned.
Yeah, and it's, you live your whole life, and then you look back and regret when you're older that you did it.
Yep.
Because if you would have realized this, the sooner you realize it, the better, I think, in life. Because, especially for men, right? Because men have to earn everything they get in life. They earn everything. So they start out as kind of worthless and useless when they're young. They have no value to society, no value to women, no value to even other men when you're young as a man. You earn everything. You earn your status. You earn your respect. You earn your friends. You earn everything in your life you have to earn as men. And it takes time to do that.
Yep.
And it takes, the sooner you get started on that, the better. Because imagine you come up with a great idea when you're 20 and you start working towards it when you're 20. Well, you're probably going to get there by the time you're 25 or 30.
Yep.
But imagine you come up with a great idea when you're 40. Well, you're probably going to get there by the time you're 45 or 50. And I'm not saying it's over, but you're behind the curve, right?
Exactly.
So the sooner in life that you have a dream, you have a goal, you have an idea, whatever that is, get to it. Stop wasting fucking time.
Exactly.
Start on it now.
Yep.
Okay? Soonest begun is soonest done.
Exactly. You're right. I love that, man. Honestly, it's never too late to start, but the sooner you can, the sooner it's done. The sooner you get there, So if you wanna be a guy that's making millions of dollars every year, so you can enjoy that kind of life that you want, you can start that at 40 and then start enjoying that by the time you're 55, which is still a great time to do it, right? But you can also start at 20 and start enjoying that life by 30, and do that even earlier. So I get what you mean, and I kind of I've doubled down on that. So we're gonna get there, bro. We're gonna get there.
And if you're a young dude, young cat, young man running around out there, and you don't know what to do, and you don't have an idea, and you don't have a goal, it doesn't mean that you have to go to college. I'm not saying that's bad or good. It's whatever, especially if you're going for something specific. But you don't necessarily have to go to college to do that. You can find a career in the trades. So a very lucrative career. So you can go into plumbing, electrical, HVAC, whatever it is. Gosh, I'm getting a lot of people texting me right now. But if you can go to college and you have a specific thing in mind and you think you might want to do that for 30 years without getting bored, then by all means go for it. If you can't or don't have the means to go to college, I would suggest to go into the trades. So go into plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and you can either go to trade school, depending on where you live, or you can just get hired by a company, a plumbing company, an electrical company, a HVAC company. You can just go to that company and apply to be a helper to an actual plumber, electrician, or AC technician. And then you'll ride around with them and carry their tools and do minor jobs and learn the intricacies of the trade and work your way up from there from a helper. I'm getting calls. And then you become an actual tradesman. And if you're a tradesman and you didn't waste 4 years on college to do something you didn't want to do, potentially, or you wanted to change careers midway through your life, not that college is always a waste, because it's not, but by the time they did a study on this a while back, a few years ago, and it was a plumber, and this assumed that the plumber at some point would get his own license and go in business for himself and have an average type of business, not a great business person, not a poor business person, just an average earnings, whatever. And they did a study on the amount of money that a doctor makes, okay, by the time he's 45, I think it was, and the amount of money that a plumber makes, assuming what I said before, by the age of 45, starting both at 18. So then you're going to have the plumber go straight into a plumbing company and be a helper and start working his way up, learning the trade to become a plumber. Then he's going to eventually know the trade enough and been working as a plumber for as many years as required by law to go and apply and secure a license to be his own plumber and potentially open his own plumbing company, which this is presupposing he would do that. He would open his own small plumbing company and work for himself and make all the money instead of working for another company as a technician and being paid by that company per job. Okay, so the study basically says that by the time that both are 45, and this is assuming the doctor spends 8 years minimum in college, okay, and then I don't know the other periods of time, maybe there's another couple years in there he has to go to another type of schooling or internship, or I don't know, but I figure 8 to 10 years he's using for school. Then he goes in to start working, and then ultimately he might even open his own practice, his own doctor's office, whatever, right? But by the time both are 45, turns out that the plumber has actually made more money than a doctor.
Wow.
And this is with no college, this is nothing, it's just walking in off the fucking street basically at 18 years old, fresh off the boat, whatever you call it, FNG fucking new guy working his way up. But the plumber actually made more money than the doctor.
That's nuts, man.
So there's an idea for you people out there, if you don't have one,
I'm in the wrong business.
How do I want to make money, whatever, there's an idea if you don't have one.
I'm in the wrong business, freak. Suitman, appreciate the subscription, brother. Welcome to the channel.
Terez Gaming says plumbers could be millionaires if they built their own business. Well, that's what you're talking to with me. Exactly. I am a millionaire that built their own business, and I am actually come from a business background. So I was always in business before I became a plumber, whereas most plumbers have no business background. But so I have an advantage is what I'm saying. But yes, it's very true. A lot of millionaires are tradespeople that do it right. It's just a lot of hard work and honest work and doing a good job, and you could make $1 million doing trade work for sure.
There you go, man. With that, let's, you know what? We're going to end our stream tonight with, after Jax's inspirational message here. It was awesome, man. I appreciate it. I guess I was needing a little bit of a refresh again. But I think everybody enjoyed it. And guys, just a couple of reminders. So again, if you are watching this, you're a leader or not a leader. I think Moon Rivia, you are in the chat, so hopefully we can get some details from your team and get you guys set up in the server as well. But if you guys want to participate, please let your teams, your leaders know about this today's live stream. And we're trying to pack as many awesome people in one packed server and have a go at each other and have a lot of fun. I'm sure it's going to be probably one of the best servers in 2.0, if not the game we've seen in a while. All right, Jax, any final words you'd like to say before we close?
We need to get the server going. So if and when you watch this, if you're not a leader, talk to your leaders and get your people to talk to our people, get them over here in the chat, get them to message him or whoever on his Discord, and let's get everybody in the same chat. Let's start talking about it and let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
It's gonna be epic. It's a long time coming.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys. Tyrus, I appreciate brother being on until now. Suitman, Robs, Moonrivia, Thrine. See who else we got. Hyperion. Shout out to Hyperion. Dalbo, Angus. I think hopefully you're around still, brother. Who else we got here? We got Simon. Take care, Simon. Demon Goddess, Ghost, Get Claw. Who else we got? We got Nazgo, my boy Nas, King of the Dead, and all you other beautiful people in here. Guys, have a great evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, stay fresh. And see you guys in the mega server as well. Take care, everybody.